What's going on, Gamers 15 here, and welcome back to Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, where in the last episode we were booked, or the last time around we were booked into the Sunshine Institute, also known as the Sunnyside Daycare ripoff. Met up with the voice of Joe from Luskus. I'm taking this headset off until I actually get started with the episode, as well as Bigby stats, and then we solved some puzzles, made some tough choices, and ultimately having the admin disguised as himself, disguised himself as me, and then ran off to wreak havoc on the world with Stella. We are now descending into a world containing a power to stop the admin, allegedly. That's still up in the air. Now, this episode is called Below the Bedrock, and Eric Sturp said that this episode has, quote, some of Telltale's most emotionally resonant content. Really? You want to chalk this up with The Walking Dead Season 1's finale and Minecraft Story Mode Season 1's winter finale? Really? You really? Come on, come back down to earth. Yeah, okay, look, I haven't played it, I can't judge it yet, but with that said, this episode looks to be a build-up to the finale, and, not much else. I mean, okay. The history of the penultimate episodes is less than stellar, and in this particular case, you know what? I'll just go another rant. Skip to the timestamp on screen now if you want to just skip to the episode, but other than that, let's rant again. Okay, I'm going to try and make this shorter than the last time. Basically, one of two things happen with the penultimate episode of a series. The first outcome is when the penultimate episode is awful, and I mean really bad, because it has so much last-minute exposition to get through that it doesn't have any time for substance, just exposition. But then the finale turns out to be phenomenal, because it takes those plot points and it either tugs at your heartstrings, or keeps you on the edge of your seat, or creates enough tension to fill a whole other season, or it presents the most impossible choice specific to Telltale Games. Now, that first scenario is the more likely scenario of the two. In fact, it's happened quite a bit in the past. Prime examples that come to mind: Walking Dead Season 1, Seasons 1 and 2 actually, Batman the Telltale series, and then Back to the Future the game. Now, I won't go into detail for every single one of them, but I do want to get my point across, so I'll talk about The Walking Dead Season 1, because I feel like a lot of people have either seen or played it, and if you haven't, you're probably not going to. With Season 1's penultimate episode, Around Every Corner, it started off pretty good with the group wandering through the city, and then you have to solve a puzzle to get inside a house, and then you have an emotional character moment with Kenny. So far, so good. But it quickly turns into the most monotonous, time-consuming, and bland episode of the entire season. So then they're wandering outside for a crazy amount of time, until Molly decides to make herself known. Then Clementine shows up out of who the knows where, after which you have to trial by fire your way through the sewers, and then you end up in a Crawford survival group. And this is where the episode falls completely flat. It makes the same mistake the finale of Season 1 of Minecraft Story Mode did. It focused on a self-contained conflict. That's something you do in the premiere. You have a self-contained arc and an overarching arc, which hooks you for the rest of the season. This episode decided to introduce, hook you into, flesh out, and conclude the story of Crawford, just so you can go and get supplies. It only set up 2 plot points for the finale. Clementine has been kidnapped, and Lee has been bitten. With the final scene on the... The final scene on the walkie-talkie was awesome. It was so well-paced, and it made you feel so much tension. Everything about that final scene. Once they got past the Crawford stuff, it was pretty good. But it just wasn't enough. The episode just wasn't on par with those prior. But then the finale came around and took everyone by surprise. Who accompanied you to rescue Clementine was entirely dependent on your choices. And from there, it was tension around every corner. See what I did there? The episode did not hold back with punching you in the gut. Yeah, I mean... Okay, you were constantly edgy, you see, from cutting Lee's arm off to jumping across buildings to losing Kenny to fighting through a horde of walkers. Lee was such a badass in that scene. And yet, so much was going on, you didn't even have a chance to cheer for him in that scene. You can just sit there in suspense as you subconsciously complete the QuickTime events. Then, having not held back up until that point, they throw you into a scene so chock full of tension, I'm not sure I stopped to breathe while the characters were talking. And as if that wasn't enough, they throw you straight into the single most heart-wrenching, emotional scene in any video game I have ever played. Possibly in any form of entertainment I've ever played. And that's up against things like Toy Story 3. Now, the penultimate episode wasn't great, but the finale was absolutely phenomenal. Now, the other, and far less likely, scenario is where you have a penultimate episode which is absolutely incredible, building up an incredible amount of tension and raising the stakes for so many plot points, only to leave you hanging off a cliff in preparation for the finale. So many thoughts are spinning around in your head, and you can't wait for the finale. But then it arrives and it falls completely flat because it doesn't conclude plot points previously addressed, or just feels rushed. The 2 main examples I can think in terms of Telltale are The Walking Dead Season 3, All My Everything, and Game of Thrones. Now, on my first playthrough of Game of Thrones, I came off the finale thinking it was a terrible game from Telltale. But I recently replayed it with my dad, who loves the TV show, and through fresh eyes, I saw that the season was actually pretty good. There's an incredible amount of important choices with funny dialogue, intense moments, and good character development throughout. Except for Garrett's contrived story arc. I couldn't figure out what the point of that was. It derailed so strongly after he left the wall. But I didn't know why I had such a strong bone to pick with this series until we played through the finale, the Ice Dragon. It was certifiable garbage. A Nest of Vipers, the penultimate episode, set up so many plot points that you could barely wrap your head around it all. Mira's allies are all put on the line while Tyrion's fate remains unknown. Asher engages in an epic fight for warriors and brings them home to Irath, which makes you pump your fist in accomplishment. And in a climactic moment, a Forester of your choice has to sacrifice himself to hold off the armada of soldiers who ambush you. Now, that choice could be insanely easy depending on how you play, but the episode itself was phenomenal. I skipped over Garrett's storyline because, once again, I just stopped caring once they ran off into the wilderness. The episodes raised the stakes so incredibly well that the world was ready for a finale that would blow us all away. But guess what? It didn't blow us all away. In fact, it nearly ruined the experience for all of us. Well, most of us. Mira's storyline comes to an abrupt end by her either dying or marrying an enemy. Garrett wastes more time with pointless action scenes in the North Grove, of which we know nothing, might I add. And while the final battle, or the main conflict, I should say, the fight for House Forrester, that was really well done. And it varies depending on your choices. Both of them are completely underwhelming because they lead to the exact same fate. House Forrester burns to the ground. Now, the drastically different stories don't matter at all because they lead to the same ending, and the way the climax is handled is absolutely awful. Nearly every important character is killed off, and there's no sense of, I caused this, or we lost this war, that's the end. It's just, oh, everyone's dead now. Why did everyone die now? It was a horrendous episode with too many plot points left unanswered. Anyway, let's tie it all back to Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, the game we're sitting in the menu screen for right now. If history repeats itself, this episode will most likely underdevelop a whole lot of plot points, and the finale will rectify this episode's horrible pacing. Or it will raise the stakes of the plot points and then leave them hanging for the finale, not to be built upon or expanded or anything like that. Now, there is a rare third possibility, which Tales from the Borderlands represents, in which both the penultimate episode and the finale are incredible, but that's incredibly rare, and I highly doubt we'll see that with this season. Although, there is, I guess, one other storyline that I need to address that's concurrent with that little adventure, which is the Hunter. My prediction, my extremely confident prediction, is that this Hunter the admin summoned at the end of episode 3 is Fred, the third admin. Basically, if you don't remember, at the end of the third episode, Zara, another previous admin, told us that there was a third admin, Fred. Now, here's the thing. It was the most random topic to bring up. She went from talking to us about trust, which is a very good character moment, immediately to telling us that there was once a third admin named Fred, with whom she fought the admin and we all know and love. Then, immediately after spouting exposition to me, she tells me Fred is dead. Why the trash would she bring him up and then instantly tell me he's dead? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You really need to know about this guy who died, even though it has no bearing on the plot at all. Here's my theory. The writers couldn't figure out a better time to talk about this third admin. How about when we first find out Zara was an admin as a way and try to defend herself, so they can cram it in right at the episode is wrapping up. Then claim him dead. They do this so they can try to throw you off the scent and smack you in the face when we find out, hey, he's not really dead, we got you, didn't we? Nope. That's why I can say with near 100% confidence that Fred is most definitely not dead, and he is, in fact, the Hunter the admin summoned. And if I'm wrong, and he does turn out to have been truly dead, then what was the point of even writing him into the story? What bearing could he possibly have on the plot if that's the case? Now, if I'm right and he turns out to be alive, I'll not be surprised. But if they really wanted to actually surprise me with this reveal that I am almost certain is going to happen, they should have shown us his alleged death and made it so believable and harsh that it just punches you right in the gut and doesn't make you think twice about it. Then, in the episode we're about to play, it turns out he's alive, and you are completely caught off guard. Again, if he's actually dead and has no bearing on the plot, then they didn't need to do any of this, though he also shouldn't have been brought up, especially in the manner of which he was. Of course, if the writers do intend for him to play a big role in future episodes as a living, breathing person, then they needed to show us his death through a flashback and make it come to life with Zara's narration for the in-game characters who can't see a flashback. And so, continuing with my theory, I think that they want to reveal this Hunter as Fred to try and surprise the audience. Although I don't really think anyone's going to be surprised by that reveal, but hey, at least they gave it a shot. Now, the other possibility in the back of my head is that Ivor's the Hunter because his method of leaving the treasure room was by using potions. But I don't think that's as likely as the Fred theory, although I'm keeping it in the back of my head just in case it turns out to be true. So, you know, I have all my bases covered, I guess. Not sure what the admin wants to actually do with him, though. I mean, he just kind of said, track him down, and then he just kind of poofed away. Of course, that's a pretty common idea nowadays because his motivations are still unclear, and we are headed into the season's penultimate episode. Okay, credit where it's due, the last episode did answer one major question about the admin, and that's how he created the world. Basically, he didn't. The world was naturally created, and his near-infinite power was given to him by something we're probably going to learn about in this episode. That's good to know because it answers a lot about why he was completely unknown about for a while, although we still know nothing about his plan. Again, his actions make no sense. Allow me to present to you a perfectly logical storyline which would fit nicely with what we know all about the admins thus far, which isn't much. So, picture this for a second. The admin is born into this world just like everybody else is, however that works. As a child, if aging even works in the Minecraft world, he was bullied by people like Aiden, and he only had two friends to rely on, Zara and Fred. One day, these three friends discovered a way to gain infinite power over the world, and the three of them let this power go to their heads, and so they turn on each other. The admin we know and love emerges victorious, and sends the only two people who can threaten his rise to the throne above the Nether, or wherever the heck the Sunshine Institute is located. The admin wants to use this power to get back at all those who have bullied him as a child, but in order for his reign of terror to truly work, he has to be rid of all the heroes in the world. As such, he uses the gauntlet to tempt adventurers into his games, and then recruits those that cooperate onto his side, and sends the ones that don't to the Sunshine Institute. With an army of adventurers, he can make these bullies go through a nightmare through his deadly games. That would be a fantastic story, because not only would it explain everything about the admin, it would also allow us to empathize with him, because Jesse and the gang were bullied by Aiden and the Ocelots, Blaze Rods at one point, and that could be an interesting conflict to explore. But instead, all we have is an amalgamation of story threads that don't make any darn sense in correlation to each other. Look, this is what I think his thought process is. I'm gonna go to Jesse's town, trick him into thinking I'm nice for less than 60 seconds, then destroy his town and die in the process, then respawn as a snowman, then condemn his town to eternal winter, and then make him compete in my games, and then, after all of that, he will be my champion forever. What? Where's the logic in that? How could he have accounted for Jesse destroying the Prismarine Colossus? Why did you change into a snowman of all things in the universe? If you're trying to intimidate Jesse, why would you make yourself a snowman? What was the point in disguising yourself as Voss other than to pull the rug out from the audience if you're going to show up as yourself anyway? If Jesse played by the rules and was deemed your champion, what was your plan then? What? Explain, or give us the clues to do so. I just pulled that bullying storyline out of my rear end. I made a story out of the events, rather than connecting clues into a story. There's a difference, and that difference makes or breaks the story. Good mysteries give you the clues to solve the mystery, and you don't have to make one up based off of random events. Here, the admin is doing random things with no explanation, and we're just supposed to assume the worst. Now, I'm guessing he wants to destroy Jesse's town because he said, "I'll take good care of Beacon Town, and your other friends will fall in line too. Lucas, Axel, Olivia, all of them." That probably means he's going to make them join his cause, but again, what's his cause? In a fictional story, you need to be able to understand what the antagonist is doing so you can get behind the good guys. It really just seems like the admin's pissed off that Jesse isn't his champion, so he's making it a personal issue. But even if you want to keep some elements of his plan a secret, we, as the players, need to understand his motivations, because without that, he's not a villain we can root against. But hey, they still have one last shot to prove themselves before the finale. So, without further ado, I can finally put this headset back on. So without further ado, let's dive into Episode 4 of Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Below the Bedrock. Our heroes take a journey to a long-forgotten land where nothing is quite what it seems and danger lurks around every corner. Will Jesse's new alliances and friendships withstand the tests they'll face? Let's find out. Let's do it.
Previously on Minecraft Story Mode.
The admin, a villain who can become anyone with the wave of his hand. How do you face a foe who's never exactly as he seems? Do you hide who you really are? Not everyone can face a trickster head-on. Some join him. Others put on a brave face, even when they're scared. No matter what, encountering that kind of evil changes you. It can turn you into a hero? Or something else. If there's a lesson to be learned, it's be careful when you get close to an admin. You never know what might happen if you dig too deep.
See, if that was narrated by anybody other than Radar, I might have actually cared about that. But nope, it was narrated by Radar. and his horrible, horrible voice acting. This game series adapts to the choices you make. The story is tailored by how you play. Did that show up in previous episodes? Usually it only shows up in the premiere. Oh boy, this looks fun.
Don't worry, everyone. This is just like the time I jumped from the cliffs of the...
Oh, shut up, Jack.
Who am I kidding? This is nothing like that.
Ah! Exposed!
Thanks again for not leaving him behind. Though, let's be honest, no way you'd pick some llama over Nermi here.
You see, exactly! Exactly!
It's not just some
It was an easy decision.
No way I was leaving Nurm behind.
Jesse made the right call, Nerm.
Wow, you were right. There's a whole world down here.
The first world, created by us, Romeo, Fred, and me. Haven't seen it since I was imprisoned, before he bedrocked over it all.
You made this?
Not this. This shadow.
This place doesn't look very friendly or welcoming.
Used to be. But now? Guess we're gonna find out together. Despite your efforts to leave me behind. I knew what Romeo planned to do. But still, seeing it like this,
Romeo?
The admin.
Oh!
it's worse than I imagined. This is the room where he killed Fred. I watched it happen. We refused to join him, and it was slow.
Oh boy.
You watched your friend die. That's awful.
Does have a life-altering ring to it, doesn't it? But I had those memories to keep me warm for all that time in prison. Fred's keep is that way. Want to defeat Romeo? The weapon's in there.
That was
That
quick.
sounded vaguely ominous.
Is that?
Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
It's the biggest Enderman I've ever seen.
Romeo never could leave well enough alone. He liked toying with the basic order of things.
Gee, I haven't noticed. Oh. Nah, what the? Why?
It would be great if I could go one day, just one day, without seeing something new and completely terrifying.
So that thing is another admin-created monstrosity.
Time to move, guys.
Opening sequence, opening credits, quick time events, please. Let me talk.
So mesmerizing.
I don't care about Radar. We can leave him behind. Now, Jesse.
Don't look at its eyes.
Sorry, Jesse. I don't know what happened. It was just hypnotic. So big and glowy.
Go, go!
Going. Ah!
Please, just let the opening credits roll so I can talk, because I really have something to say.
Thanks.
Dismantling the tower.
Okay, so up until this opening was paced really well. I like how they entered this little world. I like how. See, you'll notice now Zara's starting to tell us about Fred and how he died.
From here. I'll lead the way. Fred's keep lies just on the other side, and we'll have some cover from that thing.
On how he died, which is good. I like the fact that they're actually. That's kind of what I said. It's,
Do you guys
there he is!
see-
There he is! There's Fred! There he is! It's Fred! Okay, good opening credits. Okay, so this was paced really well, this opening sequence, because they bring you into this world, they introduce it, the pacing, the lighting is good, the shadows are good, the mood is good, the dialogue's well done, voice acting's good. Then they bring you to the place where Fred allegedly died, even though I know he didn't. You're not fooling me, game. And like I said, if he's if he's dead, this is all pointless. If he's not dead, you're doing a poor job of trying to trick me. So it's paced good, or not paced good, paced well. That's fun. Paced very well. Then the Enderman attack. It seems like they have a really hard time with these openings of pacing. They open with something that's slow and appropriately slow. They start to build tension for the episode, and then they just cut to some action sequence for the sake of opening credits. Like the first episode was the only one so far that's had perfect pacing, where they actually open and try to build the world. Episode 2, the admin tricks you into thinking he's nice for less than 60 seconds, like I said, and then he just starts dismantling the town. Episode 3, you could get introduced to the prison at a leisurely pace, but no, then you start running in a maze for no point. And then this episode, the Enderman attacks you. This wasn't as atrocious as the past 2 episodes, but still, there's still room for improvement. So far so good. Could be better, but could be a lot worse.
Is this place safe? I mean, you know, not asking for me, cause I'm tough. Whatever.
Hey, what happened to your prison radar form?
State-of-the-art machinery, automated farming. The Oasis is a completely self-sustaining city. It's home?
And it's gone. Oh? Doesn't look gone. Just looks dull.
What? What happened to it?
Are you okay?
It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Wait. This is your town?
What has he done to it? Hang on. I just need to see if it's still here.
Oh, tell me we come down here.
Keep moving. No telling what the admin is up to in Beacon Town. And they'll all think it's me.
Oh, Nermy, it's okay. Come here, pal, it's okay.
Oh no, what's this?
Are you guys okay?
Nerm here was poking around and found a llama blanket, and,
Oh my god. Okay, look.
it made him think of it.
It's a good character trait that you're concerned about Luna, and I respect you for that. But it's Luna.
Come on, pal. No.
It's Luna.
Gonna see Luna.
I don't care.
Hang on to that blanket and give it to her when we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Jesse.
Years without sleep! Years!
Oh, that sounds fun.
Only rest is at home. Won't rest until I get there, I said!
Zara?
Oh dear.
Look! At this! My bed! Come on!
She's freaking out about a bed? Really?
Spawn point.
More melodramatic.
Spawn point. She's freaking out about a spawn point. She's freaking out about a spawn point.
Help her.
Be my guest. I'm staying as far away from her throwing arm.
Ditto.
I just wanted to sleep. I thought if I could find this one thing, one last thing still whole, there's no hope for this place.
Okay, never mind. She is being melodramatic, and it's not actually important.
Made sure.
He won't get away with this. We'll get back at the admin for what he did. We'll avenge your bed.
You really believe that, don't you?
Tell me we come all the way down here, and the thing we need to destroy the admin, whatever the it isn't here. Tell me we come all the way down here and it's not even here. That would... Oh, please let us move around. Please let us move around. Oh.
Zara, what are you doing over here by this,
It's a portal.
what?
The portal. Broken now like everything else.
The way out of here?
Leave me here. Go.
You want to destroy Romeo, don't you? Make him pay for what he did to you, your town? Then you have to get up.
Not much use stuck down here.
But what about the portal? Where does it go, anyway?
Probably back to the
Nowhere,
surface.
obviously. It's broken.
Oh my god, you're
We
useless.
built these so we could visit each other. An object in the frame would teleport you to the owner. My idea, by the way. Though Romeo took credit for it. Fred wanted to add the birch. He loved birch.
So you'd know how to rebuild it. And get us up to the admin.
I don't know if I can.
what tactic? What tactic do we play here? Do we play the optimistic? I know we can. Do we play the blow off? You could be better. Some engineer you are. Or do we play the what's the other one? The one where you say you want to live down here forever. The grit motivation, the optimistic the encouragement motivation, the grit motivation, or the you're bad motivation. I say the grit motivation.
Fix it, then we're stuck down here. Can't get up to the prison. You really want to live here in the dark forever?
You make it sound so appealing.
Okay, that wasn't the right.
Any other options here?
That wasn't the right tactic to use.
I don't get it. How do you keep going? Look where you are, but you're still fighting. Why?
I'm tired of the admin doing whatever he wants. Stealing my face, my town, my friends. I want my life back, and Fred's weapon is the only way to do it.
Fine. It won't work without a personal object. Something with a strong bond to Romeo to take us right to him. Though an object crafted on the surface could do in a pinch.
Let me worry about finding an object for the portal. You just focus on getting it running.
Follow the tracks. They'll lead you to Fred's keep. Whatever Fred found, he hid it at home. That's what he told me.
Jesse!
Good.
Oh.
I'll see what I can do.
You're really gonna mess with the pacing? Are you really gonna mess with the pacing game? Okay. At its best, this game's pacing is incredible. But at its worst, it's dodge. Haha! It's not good. It's either really great or why did you do that? Why did you pull me off target? Why did you do that? Why did you pull me off target?
Zara said to follow the tracks to Fred's keep. That's where we'll find the weapon.
Kind of useless unless we can find a way out of here. Can't exactly go back up through that prison.
Zara's got it covered. Oh, great. Just what this place needed. Run on ahead!
Okay. So, let me explain something right quick. So, the pacing of this scene was really good. And we were even starting to have an emotional conversation to build some character for Zara between the two of us. That was a good character development moment. But then they ruin it.
Here we come!
With combat. If they had just led to this scene right here. If they had just cut to this scene right here where we're riding in the minecart, that would have been perfect. It would have been a perfect pacing. But they completely destroyed it with the combat scene. That's a big problem with this game, is they start with good character development, and then they just ramp it up to 11. That's a major problem with this game. And you know what? That's actually a good stopping point for the episode. It's not bad. When it's at its best, the character development is really strong. But when it's at its worst, like when they just cut abruptly between things like that, that doesn't sit well with me at all. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Minecraft Story Mode Season 2. So, I'd like to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, and until then, it's been a game. It's 13, starting off saying hope you finished a good day, and I will catch you next time for some more Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Episode 4, or just Minecraft Story Mode Season 2. Goodbye!